audible? Or is the voice breaking?
It's breaking.
Okay. Is it a little better now?
Yes.
Okay, so today overall the Wi-Fi is a little bit unstable. Okay, so yeah, if it breaks, just let me know. So back and neck straight, just close your eyes and start watching the breath, the natural flow of your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. And begin to cut off all of the thought and come back to your breath. And begin to elongate the breath. Go deeper with each breath. And when you feel ready, you can start adding the of kumbha. Retain breath inside for seconds. And then you go for the exhalation. Yourselves for 3 times, followed by 3 shanti. Inhale deeply for Om. शांति 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 join both palms together in front of the chest. Raise them over the eyes. And very good while blinking and looking at your palms. Open up your eyes. Come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Happy Guru Purnima, everyone.
Happy Guru Purnima. आज काफी आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है.
हैप्पी गुरु पूर्णिमा.
का थोड़ा इशू है अभी.
I think better शायद.
Till
Can you
it's
speak
better,
again?
is it? Till
हाँ, I think better.
break खूब बार बताना. Like
Hi, कल हुई थी अलाइनमेंट क्लास?
हाँ हाँ हुई थी. तो
अच्छा.
राहुल जी और कैरन और मैं थे और वो तो फिर मैंने छोड़ दिया बीच में.
अच्छा,
हाँ,
वो क्या कर रहे थे?
वो पूछ रहे कि कुछ कुछ आसनास का तुमको एडजस्टमेंट का जरूरत है क्या. मैंने तो कुछ रिप्लाई नहीं किया क्योंकि मैं थक गई थी. फिर वो
अच्छा.
कैरन को भी पूछे और उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं. तो फिर वो लोग सन सैल्यूटेशन वो सब कर रहे थे.
ओके.
मैंने छोड़ दिया.
मुझे लगा कल मैंने तो चेक भी नहीं किया. मुझे लगा नहीं हो रहा था तो आई थिंक होगा ही नहीं.
तो
मैंने
शायद
देखा
वो
ही नहीं.
अपलोड करेंगे कि नहीं वो पता नहीं बट कल हुआ. आई थिंक
ओके.
ऐसे ही एक दिन भी एक 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 बार ही हुआ है शायद इस वीक में. मैं और कैरन ही थे तो मैंने बीच में छोड़
हम्म।
दिया, वो शायद उनको उनके साथ कंटिन्यू किए शायद, मुझे लगता है गारंटी नहीं।
ओके ओके,
हाँ
ठीक है, चलो आज देखते हैं।
हाँ, लेकिन आज नहीं होगा मुझे ऐसा लगता है, क्योंकि फुल मून डे और न्यू मून डे के दिन आसनास नहीं करते हैं,
ओ
तो
हाँ,
आज का
उन्होंने
मुझे नहीं
बताया था।
पता। तो आज का मुझे नहीं पता।
हम्म।
हम्म, तो कल मैंने फिर
ओके।
से उनके साथ किया सन सैल्यूटेशन, तो मुझे डिफिकल्टी हो रहा था क्योंकि 1 वीक का गैप हो गया ना।
हम्म।
और उसके बाद मैंने प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं किया, जो हो रहा था क्लास में ही हो रहा था।
हम्म।
तो
चलो
तो मुझे
ठीक है, लेट्स सी।
यस यस
ओके, थैंक यू।
अभी अभी आप लोग को आवाज आ रही है?
यस।
यस।
Okay, great. Acha, so overall there is some network issue today. So if the voice is breaking or like if the class stops in between, like just know कि overall आज थोड़ा सा issue है. Yeah. So yeah, I was wishing all of you happy Guru Purnima. Yes, take out time to meditate today apart
यस
from your meditation class.
हैप्पी गुरु पूर्णिमा।
You too,
Thank
you
you.
too. Okay, so let us begin where we left off yesterday. Yeah, so we were doing Gyan Yoga and we had completed the 4 pillars of knowledge, sadhana chatushthay, in the previous class. Now we're going to discuss the 3 core practices that are there in Gyan Yoga. Yes, so you can just write down 3 core practices of Gyan Yoga. And then just down the first one, that is Shravan. I will just write it in the chat box also. Yes. This literally means listening. Yes. Then we have Manan. Nididhyasan or meditation. So once you are established in the first 4 practices, then you can go ahead and be ready for these 3 practices, the core practices of Gyan Yoga. So the first one, that is the first, how do you enter into the core practices? So they're given step by step. So when you enter in the core practices, then first thing, when there is an intense desire for you to get liberated, yes, that desire comes in, then what you do is you change your environment. Like yesterday, I told you, when Siddharth Gautam had that realization, he knew that he had to leave behind his life. He knew that he had to leave behind everything he had known, because his desire to understand suffering and the way to come out of suffering was very strong. And when such a moment comes in life, then basically everything else is not a priority, and this becomes the main priority. So you will, one thing you will yourself know when you reach this stage, what is like. happening at that point of time. Second is that if some other desire overpowers you when this thing comes up, like when you want to get liberated and then you see another desire is overpowering you, then you are not at this stage. Okay? Because at this point, when you will be ready to actually step into the yogi life, then you need a lot of motivation. Otherwise, you will come running back. Yeah, come back into this world. Means you are not prepared. If some other desire is coming up and it is strongly pulling you out of that state of um, attaining that final goal. Okay. So, for example, I'll just give you an example. So, it is my own example. So there was a point in my life when I really wanted to leave everything behind and go into deep meditation. But after a while, like what happened was my desire to go back home overpowered me. So now I was there sitting for a Vipassana course and I was serving in that course. But it so happened that as the course started, I got this intense desire to go back home. I was missing everyone back at home. And uh, that is when like I went to the teacher and it was a really heavy day for me. So I cried. So then the teacher like told me that you are not ready yet. Like whatever you're trying to do, whatever you the mind that you came with, you're not ready right now to achieve that thing that you are looking for because other things are pulling you back. So somehow I finished those 10 days, and even though I was serving and I was given a lot of distractions during the day. So when you're meditating, there are no distractions, but when you're serving, you talk to people also, you do you're interacting basically in your day-to-day life. So it shouldn't be that hard, but that was the hardest course that in all of the courses that I have attended so far, that was the hardest one for me because at that point of time I wanted to go back home, be with my family, and then nothing else was sufficient. No distraction was keeping me. So just physical and mental. That
Your
is
voice
what
is
happened.
breaking.
So if you are
Yes.
at this stage where something else overpowers you and you're not able to come out of that, then you are not ready to enter to the stage of Brahman. Okay, because when a Gyan Yogi goes to a guru, then he is like not really prepared because he's going to like give you a lot of things
Your
that
voice is
will
breaking, ma'am.
teach you how they you have to like listen to him and of that
Hello.
not he's going to tell you universal truths How is my? Am I audible now? Is it better?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So, till which point did you guys like listen?
While serving up to there.
Sorry, once again.
Uh, you were in Vipassana course and there was a point like for serving you said like interaction during serving.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, end of story was at the end of the course, I went back and yeah, I met my family. So, I wasn't ready. Basically, that is what I was trying to explain. So sometimes you have this intense desire, you think you are ready, but actually, when you walk on that path, you realize that there's a lot more like depth to it, and it's not that easy. So you need a lot of motivation. So, and the external world, because it is Maya, it has its own charm and it will pull you back times, be it for one reason or the other. So when you are ready, then you all of these things will become tasteless for you. Like attaining all of the things of the external world will become tasteless, and the thing that will give you the most satisfaction is going to be the practice that you are undertaking. Okay. So that is when you get prepared to go into the first stage, which is Shravan, or listening to the guru. Okay. So when you are ready, then you are eventually you find a guru, and then you are ready to actually listen to what he has to say. And your level of motivation needs to be really high. Why? Because the guru is not going to tell you fun things. The guru is not going to tell you that okay, this is good, or this is the part where you will start enjoying, because yoga is not something which, it's a boring thing. After everything, after people try every other thing in their life to cure their suffering, they come to yoga. That is their last resort. Yes, meditation is their last resort. Why would you want to sit and just keep meditating, doing nothing? Everybody is out there partying, having fun, and you are sitting in your house meditating. Why would you want to do that? No? So you need an extra push. So then you are finally ready to listen to what the guru has to say, and there are all sorts of truths and realities that are revealed to you through his teachings. So once you listen to all of those things, you are in interaction with people who are on the same path, the path of Jnana Yoga. You absorb a lot of things, you receive a lot of things. So Shravan is the part where you are open to receiving a lot of new information, which you will then further process and see, okay, this is going on, this is going on, this is right, this is wrong, this kind of thing. And then after Shravan, Manan is the part which is like intertwined. Okay, so you cannot break both of them. Why? Because after you, like, if I tell you something in class or in any other class, you get some new information, you directly go into manan or reflection about that thing. Now you're contemplating, okay, this is what was told to me. How can I implement it in my life? Or does it even make sense to implement this? Is it right or wrong? You are going to use your own mind to try to understand what is being said, to process everything that has been told to you. So then you automatically enter the second stage, which is manan. Okay. So this requires a lot of self introspection. Yes. So we work on that when we are in the manan phase. We are reflecting, we are constantly observing our own self and seeing that, okay, this was told to me. Am I also functioning in that way only? Is this how everything around me is going on? You question over here. Okay. So this is the part where now the information has started to seep inside of you, and you are taking up conclusions relevant to your own experiences. Okay. And if you reach a point where it seems valid to you, so the Gyan Yogi, what he or she will do is they're going to adopt the philosophy which appeals to them the most. Okay, so if suppose something was told to me and I see, okay, that is really happening, I have experienced that, and this, I'm going to process it. Okay, it's actually happening, and then my guru told me that, okay, this is the way in which you have to go to, come out of this thing. So you will start implementing that thing. Okay, so once again, your own experience, your own intuitive understanding plays a very important role when it comes to Gyan Yoga. Okay? Once you have done this, once you reach this stage, then you automatically enter the third stage, which is nididhyasana or meditation. Okay, so this is the solution which a Gyan Yogi gains. Okay, so suppose the guru has like given you certain information. So for a Gyan Yogi, the main thing the Gyan Yogi meditates upon is the self, the Atman, as I told you yesterday, the inner consciousness, pure consciousness. So when he is sitting in his meditation, his main focus is on the Atman, and he is at the same time trying to gain this understanding in his meditation that everything around him is an illusion. Okay, so his point of focus just remains that pure consciousness that is inside all of us. He is constantly like going in his mind and saying that he is not the body, he is not the thoughts. Okay, so he goes into that process. So this third stage is the one which helps you to implement every other thing. Okay, actually changing yourself. It is meditation which will do good. So listening to something to a certain extent will help you. Reflection to a certain extent will help you. But it is the meditation portion which is going to give you spiritual growth, because that is when the thing becomes very clear to you, because what you're trying to observe cannot be observed through your senses, through your mind. It is something which can only be experienced when you go inside. So that is the main point. Even though the instruments that are used are external, sometimes what we have is external object of meditation we have. Then Shravan is also, we can say, external thing only over here. So we are listening to something like that is external to us. So till then you are still in interaction with the external world and trying to observe the internal world. But in Nididhyasana, you completely cut off everything and go inside to actually experience the truth that has been told to you. Okay. Any doubts in any of this?
No.
No, no.
Okay. So our whole concept of Gyan Yoga finishes over here. Like, so you can again read in depth about these things in Swami Vivekanand's books. Yes, he has written one on each school of yoga. And now we'll start with the next topic. So we're just going to have a basic introduction of Raj Yoga. Let's see how much we are able to cover in the remaining time. So Raj Yoga. This is the fourth school, last school that we are going to discuss. This is the royal path. So Raj in itself like means royal or the king. We say Raja, yes. So Raj Yoga is considered to be the highest path of them all. Okay. So Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, all of these intertwine, all of these like come together, but Raj Yoga is considered to be highest of them all. Like it's the royal path. So I can say that it is one of the most like direct paths. So because Raj Yoga believes that uh, your mind, it gives the most relevance to your mind. Okay, so in all the other yogas, we are using the mind, we are using our emotion, action, all of these things, we are using those, but we are somewhere not understanding, like we are trying to tap into the hidden potential of the mind through those actions. Okay, but Raj Yoga directly targets at that. So Raj Yoga believes that one thing, the main cause of your suffering is the mind which is not stable. Okay, so we have a wavering mind, and because it wavers so much, it's not connected to the reality, and because it doesn't, we are not able to connect to the reality, we go into the cycle of suffering again and again. Okay, so mind is the main thing, it is the cause of suffering if it is not tamed. And Rajyog also directly takes you into this thing. So main belief of Rajyog is that whatever you're trying to understand cannot be understood through your senses, your, you know, mind will not be able to understand that much. Your experience is the one which counts the most. So it believes that if you can concentrate your mind, if you can stabilize your mind, then you can actually focus it in a direction. All of the other parts of yoga are indirectly working on this. But Raj Yoga directly targets this, says that concentrate your mind, and it is the concentration of the mind which will throw the light on the subtle reality. So when we talk of Raj Yoga, the first name that will come directly in your mind is Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Okay? So, though that is the text which describes Raj Yoga completely, holistically, and properly, that is your path. And Raj Yoga also believes that there are certain hidden potential. There is a certain hidden potential that each and every human being has, and it is only through the concentration of the mind that a person can access those things, get in touch with that hidden potential. Once again, going directly on this path can be very harsh. So begin with the rest of the three. Wherever you find yourself, it is better to be established in them and then go for Raj Yoga. Even though a beginner can also start, so I'll tell you step by step whatever is given. But generally, Raj Yoga comes like later. So when you study Hatha Yoga also, Hatha Yoga is when Hatha Yoga Pratipika opens itself, like in the first few verses only. It is made very clear that Hatha Yoga is practiced for attaining Raj Yoga, and that is the purpose of going into that practice. So even when you read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you will see that first sutra is Atha Yoga Anushasanam. This is the first sutra. And you don't need to know this. I'm just using this as a uh, uh, to try to make you understand. So when he says this, that from now you are going to be like, from now I'm going to explain you the discipline of you. That is what he's trying to say over here. So this now, reaching this now, is a particular state of mind that you are in. Before that, you have practiced different types of yoga to establish yourself. You cannot receive Raj Yoga if your mind is like not prepared. Okay. So now I will give you the instructions on it. That now holds a lot of relevance in the first sutra itself. Then he begins to explain what yoga is, what are the other things that come up, what is the path. So first thing that Patanjali ji focuses on in his text to Raj Yoga is vritti. Okay? We have discussed this before, but right now we are going to go in a little bit depth. Vrittis or mental modifications. So Patanjali ji believes that um, if you're having a positive or a negative experience, both these experiences are due to the vrittis that are caused in your chitta. Okay? We've had a very long discussion about what chit is in previous classes, so you guys can go and catch up on this word like in those classes. Okay, so he names 5 vrittis in total when you read the text, and these I'm going to name all of these. So first is praman. Or right knowledge. Okay, vritti is anything that is like an impression that is formed. Okay, viparya or wrong knowledge. Vikalp or imagination. Nidra or sleep. Smriti or memory. You can write all 5 of these down. Praman is, I'm going to spell all of them. Praman is P-R-A-M-A-N-A. Viparya is V-I-P-A-R-Y-A-Y-A. Vikalp V-I-K-A-L-P-A. Nidra N-I-D-R-A. And Smriti S-M-R-I-T-R. Okay. So your task for today is that whatever is happening in your life, you can categorize everything that is happening in your life in these 5, like you can put everything in these 5 boxes. First thing that you will experience in life in your day-to-day situations or interactions will be the right knowledge. Okay. Now there is a table in front of me, so it is the table. I know that. Why? Because my own senses are telling me this, that okay, it is a table. I have prior knowledge. I have an impression that this is what a table looks like. And hence, when I see a table, I'm directly able to decipher that, okay, there, that table has been kept, and you can, like, go sit over there, study. You can just get a chair, place a computer, place your books, all of these things. So because there is this impression that is formed, and when you perceive something new, then also there is an impression that is formed. So suppose you haven't seen any flower, okay, and then you go ahead and, like, maybe you're traveling and you see some flower. So now the vritti that is formed in your chit relating to that, like the image of the flower, the scent of the flower, all of these things, that thing that is being formed in your mind is actually the right knowledge of the thing in front of you. Okay. So this is your praman vritti. There are three ways in which you know that something is right knowledge. Apart from that, everything is wrong knowledge. Okay. So first is your own experience, your own sense experience. You look at something, it is that thing. Okay. You touch something, you use all of your senses to understand what is in front of you. Okay. First is your own experience. Second thing is inference. Now, if I say that it is like the clouds are there in the sky, I can directly infer that today, tomorrow, maximum, it is going to rain, or in a few days, there is going to be rain. Or if, like, the rain is falling and sunlight comes from somewhere. So I can directly infer that somewhere a rainbow might be formed. Yeah. So why? Because it is a natural process, and the existence of one thing confirms that the other thing is going to happen. So this requires a lot of strong logic. You just cannot infer one thing from another like we generally do. So we misinterpret a lot of situations. So sometimes maybe somebody is doing something with one intention, we interpret it to be in a different way. No, that is our personal bias. When we know, it has to have a very strong logic. So this is science, right? If I see a lot of clouds and, like, the weather is setting up for it to rain, then I know that it is going to rain. Okay, so inference is the second way in which you can perceive the right knowledge. The third way is, okay, in sense, when I'm experiencing something directly, I can infer, like, understand it. Then I can infer also sometimes. But what about the things you have no understanding of, or which cannot be directly, seen, or sense objects are not directly connected to that? So, like spiritual experiences, let me come to this. So, sometimes when you are, like, meditating, you have a lot of doubt. This is happening, or this is happening. Even when you do pranayam, you have certain doubts because you're working on a very subtle level. So, maybe you start to sweat. If I wouldn't have told you in Surya Bhedan, you will start to sweat, or Bhastrika, then maybe some of you would have asked me that why am I starting to sweat when I'm doing this? So when you do not know why certain things are happening, because you are in a very, like, in a field which is very subtle. So in that case, you need a guru to guide you. Okay. Now you do not understand what is happening when you are on the path of yoga. So the guru will tell you, okay, this is the station. Keep walking, then you will reach this station. And the guru knows because he has himself walked on that path. Okay, at least he is further ahead of you, even if he hasn't reached the final stage. Okay, so in that case, whatever your guru tells you becomes right knowledge for you. Okay, so these are the three ways in which you can decipher what is the correct knowledge. And if anything falls outside these three things, then that knowledge in itself is wrong knowledge. Okay, so then you come to the paryaya, or wrong knowledge.
Can you tell me again the last third point which you said?
The guru.
Acha, the guru. Okay.
जब आप कुछ नहीं समझ पा रहे, जो आपके एक्सपीरियंस में आया ही नहीं आज
हम्म
तक, वो चीज ही नहीं, आपको उसकी समझ कैसे आएगी? तो वो गुरु देगा।
ओके।
So then wrong knowledge. Yes, this also happens every time we are, uh, every time we cannot expect that, okay, that our senses will tell us the right knowledge. Or maybe we are not able to infer that well. Sometimes people don't have gurus. So क्या हो जाएगा वो चीज, the thing that happens is you start perceiving the wrong knowledge. So let me give a very good example of this. Suppose there is darkness, like it's the night time, and over here we have snakes in the campus. So when the grass grows longer, there we are like, right now I haven't seen any, but I have been told that snakes will like be there. So now I have this thought in my mind every time I'm walking in the night through the grass. I'm like, okay, I have to be careful. I might encounter like a snake on my way. So what happens is, one day I'm like really distracted and the snake thought is totally on my mind. And as I'm walking, there is a rope that is on the way. But because that thought is so heavy and I'm so distracted at that point of time, I do not actually look at that thing very properly, look at the rope very properly. I'm directly like, I jump back and I'm just like, "Saap aa gaya." Okay, there's a snake. So what is happening over here is, the rope is there, but my knowledge of the rope is wrong. I'm thinking that it is a snake. Okay, so this is a very good example of viparya. Okay, so for viparya, one thing which is totally like true is that it happens because there are a lot of things that are surrounding it. Like, so there was a lot of darkness at that point of time. I had a lot of fear when I was, having that experience. That thought was constantly on my mind. So if I throw light, if the lighting would have been better over there, then I would have been able to see the rope as the rope. So what is happening over here is, avidya is the main cause of the wrong knowledge, and developing vivek or discrimination can eliminate the wrong knowledge that I am perceiving. So then we come to one. In the first one, we had a real object. In the second one, we had a false object. If there was a rope, I thought it was a snake. Then in the third one, there is no object. So vikalpa is imagination. Now, I don't know about any of you. I haven't ever seen a unicorn in my life, but I can imagine it. Like, as soon as I say unicorn, I'm sure that everybody listening to me has a picture in front of their mind of the unicorn. But in
Yes.
reality, yeah, see, the movie Inception is so true in this case. Like, when you're asked to not think about the thing, you think about that thing. So, yeah, so unicorn does not exist, but we can imagine it. So the mind has a very sharp ability. See, check how your mind is. It's so sharp and so fast that something that does not exist, you can think of it. So creative writers, so artists, all these people are able to tap into their imagination. Harry Potter books, as Harry Potter have been written, an entire universe of magical creatures and spells, and schools, people, wizards have been created out of this great power of the mind called imagination. Yes, so this is how this vritti comes in. So it can again be pleasurable or painful, both. If I am imagining something which is not happening, so we do this a lot of times. We imagine, like, we have a fear and we imagine that this is going to happen. So it becomes a very painful experience for us, even though that thing might not be happening. There is no real basis for us to get to that conclusion. Yes. And the opposite also happens. Things like Harry Potter's or, like unicorns, all of these things that our mind is able to create, the art or works the mind is able to create, they also become a very pleasurable experience for us. Why? Because now we have a wizard boy, yes, and that school, and the story is so gripping in itself. So it becomes a very pleasurable experience for us. We are just like, oh, I wish this would have been there. Yeah, I would have been able to experience this thing. So it works in both ways, but this has no real base. Okay. So these are the first three vritis. Let's cover the next two in our next class. Then we'll go ahead on Raj Yoga. Okay. The solutions that Raj Yoga is giving, how you have to go about it. All of these things we'll discuss tomorrow. Any doubts in any of the things we have discussed?
No, clear.
No.
Okay. So I would recommend that all of you read about this because
Yes, I think still the Swami Vivekananda's book, I think I have to read.
yeah, do that. Yeah, especially the one on Raj Yoga, like it's very deep. So even I haven't been able to complete it yet. I'm also reading like very slowly. So it's a good book. Very small blue colored book, Raj Yoga.
Can
On
you write the name of the book in the WhatsApp or in the chat?
Yeah, I'm writing this.
Oh, thank
Or
you very
else
much.
also you can share, like if you have ordered from online or something, like you can share the link also, like what exactly it is. Like if you know. Because I was searching, so it's like all in one book I was like I got.
Yes,
Okay, okay.
there is one book which is all in one, and you can find separate copies also.
Separate also.
Okay. Uh, okay, I'll search.
Amazon or Sapna Book House also in Bangalore.
Okay. Acha, ठीक है, I'll contact Pooja ji, I'll talk to you regarding this.
Okay.
So let's end today's class. Back and neck straight. Just close your eyes. And we'll chant Om one time, followed by Shanti. Exhale completely, and then inhale your own.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Join both your palms together in front of chest. Stand up both the palms together. Place them over your eyes. And very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, open up the eyes. Come back with a big smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see you all for your pranayama in the evening.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I ask a
Thank you.
question?
Bye.
Hello?
Yeah.
I just want to know, I've been joining all the classes, but I can't find any classes where they do the yoga, where they do the actual yoga asanas and the practice. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
what, I don't know. I've joined
Yeah,
all the
yeah. We are
different,
going to have the class today. Yeah.
do they have the yoga class every
2
day?
to 3, 6 to 7.
Because I
Yes, 2
joined
to
at
3,
this
6
time.
to 7.
I've been joining at this time, but it's just like the meditation, just the silent meditation. But do they do the yoga asanas every day?
Yes. We
They
have a
do.
class from 2 to 3 and 6 to 7.
Okay.
They were not taking place before, but as far as I know, like today, you're going to have your classes. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll try later on then. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste. Bye
Oh,
bye.
bye.